Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill gets pulled over, and we're doing kind of a reaction video with TJ Webb, a former law enforcement officer, to see kind of what his take is on how it was handled.
Keep it down.
So right now he rolled the window down and then rolled it back
Keep
up.
your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
So it escalates pretty quickly.
Looks like there's, 4 or 5 motorcycle cops?
Yeah. So now he's got another car pulling up, like friends or teammates or something.
Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't turn the car off.
Yeah.
So I guess from asking for a license, I mean, do you know legally what the requirement is?
Yeah, I mean, he can ask him for his ID because at this point, he's telling him to leave. He's not really responding to it, so he's pretty much hindering in his investigation now, right? He has nothing to do with this traffic stop, which is why he's telling him to leave. Like, get out of here, because that's the officer safety thing too.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing with the guy that was at the back of the car. Like, the guy's coming there, what's going on? It's none of your business, so just move on, right? And at some point, you got to draw a line and say, you can't ask him 1,000 times, so it's like, we got to do something. So, all right, give me your ID. We're going to work through this. Who are you? Why are you here? What do you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if they don't, it's either leave or you're getting arrested also.
Yeah, probably, obstruction or something, hindering investigation. The main cop was, he dove into it pretty quick.
Yeah.
He's pretty hostile pretty quick. And I get it, like when you're in, it's intense. There's situations like that can get intense, but he's obviously like a very seasoned officer, he looks like. The whole window thing, keep the window down. You can't make anybody keep the window down. You want it down, especially a tinted window, because now you can't see shit. It's a safety issue, right?
So the shattering of the window, is that legal or not if they won't roll it down?
Rolling it down, no. If you're trying to take somebody out of the car for lawful purposes, you can break a window and get him out of that car. I mean, what was it? He didn't want to, he gave him his ID, right? Or did he have problems giving him his ID?
I don't think he did. I think he showed it to him but didn't give it to him.
Well, the problem, at the end of the day, if you get pulled over by the fucking cops, don't be an asshole.
No,
right?
I agree.
Like, you hand the guy your ID and move on with it. Now, we're making problems now, right? I'm not justifying the cops' approach to it because he's worked up.
Yeah.
He needs to dial it back a little bit. The rest of the cops there seem fine. Everyone's pretty chill, working through the problem. Well, the one guy's not fucking around. So, like, the guy that pulls up in the front in the other vehicle, he's telling him to move on, like, a couple times. And he's like, all right, fuck it, give me your ID. If it was me, like, I would really try to get that guy out of there and just move him on to avoid any further problems. Yeah. Or, like, hey, fine, move it up a little bit further, okay? Like, go up that way, and I'll get to you when I get to you.
Yeah.
To get him further away from the scene. I probably would have dialed back my temper a little bit if I was the main officer. Yeah. I think he was a little worked up.
So I guess from there's all kinds of different opinions on both sides. The Miami Dolphins coach and kind of them as an organization, I think, have really ostracized the police and had a pretty negative response to that. The context of the stop, from what I understand, is that he was doing either 120 in a 55 or he was doing 100 over.
Yeah, that's what I read.
So I know it was excessive speeding, which was the initial reason for the stop. Whether or not it was reckless or not, shit, who knows? I don't know what the Florida statutes are, but I think the crux of the argument is, what was the way that he was treated, getting yanked out of the car and put on the ground and handcuffed, and that is it warranted? Is it legal? Is it justified? Obviously, that's always going to be a judgment call on a case-by-case basis, but from you having been a patrol cop for a number of years and seeing this, do you think that it was?
It all comes down to the officer's point of view and how they articulate it, right? So if he can articulate that things were escalating and he felt it was a safety concern to get him out of the car, and he can definitively say that and give a reason why he felt that way, he's good. If he's just pulling him out of the car because he wouldn't listen to him, and that's what his reason is, no, he's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have yanked him out of the car so quick. I think I would have dialed back my attitude and tried to talk to him a little bit more, especially if he's by himself in the car. There's no one else in the car reaching for anything, right? Because people feed off your temper, right?
Yeah.
So, and the cop's obviously worked up, so you're going to work him up even more because now he knows he's got you.
Yeah.
If you stay cool, calm, and collective, he knows he's not going to push your buttons anymore. Like, you might calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at it. Everyone's got their own piece of it. Everyone's going to look at it a little differently.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to say everything the cop did was wrong. I think he could have approached it a little bit better.
Yeah.
For sure. But at the end of the day, if you're getting pulled over, I mean, just fucking do what you're told to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I agree. Anytime I've ever been pulled over, I'm always super respectful and calm and, compliant, I guess is maybe the best word. But I guess, my biggest question on it is kind of the overarching principle, not, can he clearly explain, why he did what he did or whatever. I mean, I know from a legality standpoint, that is what it is. But to me, the bigger problem that I think our society and specifically police officers have is the PR or the perspective, the optics of what things look like. And so my biggest question would be, like as a police officer, at least to me, and I'll be the first to admit, there's a multitude of reasons why I'm not a cop, but a big reason would be that I would have a hard time being talked to a certain way. Like after a while, if that's the only way that you're talked to, like I can see getting pissed off quick and what have you. I'm at a point in my life now where that's not the case, but like exiting the military, that would have been a bad combination for me to be in situations with anybody being talked to like that. But I think where a lot of people struggle and where my question would be is, where do you draw the line of being physical with somebody based off of them just being a dick?
Yeah.
Because to me, like that's really the biggest question mark or the issue that your general public is going to have with any cop is that if he's putting his hands on somebody in an aggressive manner just because the person irritated them, that's always going to come off bad and be a problem.
I think for me, I don't think I would have put him out of the car. Especially if I had his ID, if I had the information I needed, knowing I had all those officers there and he wants to be a dick, keep his window up, whatever, dude, keep your fucking window up. I'm going to go back here, write this ticket, do what I got to do. I'm going to get you out of here to avoid any further confrontation, right? And I'm not saying the cop pushed it because I feel like in his mind he probably did what he felt like he needed to do. I think I would have let it play out a little bit differently though, man. I don't think I would have pushed it that far. Sometimes it's easier just to fucking ride it out real quick and move on to the next one. It's just not worth it, Yeah. And, from the public standpoint, looking at a cop, and I'm not defending the guy. It's you don't know where that cop just came from.
Yeah.
Who else he just dealt with, what scene he just came from, what he dealt with the day before. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we all deal with shit in different ways, and shit gets to you. He could have just came from a death, an assault.
Yeah.
You never know what's going on, where they're coming from. And again, I'm not defending him, but we're all people. You gotta look at that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I guess to me, I hate to see situations where something like that happens and it takes so many steps back for the public's trust in law enforcement.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I mean, again, I wasn't there, and I can see kind of both sides to it. I think if you set a standard of saying, a citizen, if he's being rude or just being a dick and irritating you, and then he gets roughed up for being that way, like that's always going to be a lose-lose.
Yeah, and like that's why I said, like, if he can articulate what he needs to articulate, he's good.
Well, but like, so legally, yes. You know, but in the public's eye, like,
that's terrible.
They're not going to give a shit whether you articulate.
They don't care what the driver was doing.
Yeah, so
plus it's a professional athlete, and that adds to it.
Which I don't think it should.
I think it could be handled a little differently. Yeah. But, you got to make a judgment call. That's a call he made.
Yeah.
You got, make your bed, you lay in it, right?
Yeah.
I'm big on trying to de-escalate. I learned this from a sergeant a long time ago, man. Like, you got to de-escalate as much as you can, but it gets to a point where you can't. I'm not saying this was that situation. And the other thing I learned from him was when you get somebody in custody, load them up and get them out of there before shit gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse, right?
Yeah.
Like like the situation with what the fuck was his name in Minnesota that died?
Oh, George Floyd.
George Floyd incident, right? Like, get him out of there. He shouldn't have been on the ground to begin with, and none of that would have happened. I was sergeant. Shout out to Shane. Shout out to you, buddy. Yeah. You got him in custody. Get him out of there before you get more problems, right? Yeah. That's the thing. That's what I was always taught, and that's why I always worked my career.
Yeah. Well, that's the reaction video to the Tyreek Hill arrest. I appreciate your insight on it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll do more of these. Thanks.